CGTN Radio. Hear the difference.
Now the news. I'm Shane Bigham. Chinese President Xi Jinping, along with other officials, has presented flowers at the Monument of the People's Heroes in Beijing. People from all walks of life also attended the ceremony at Tiananmen Square and paid tribute. China honors those who sacrificed their lives for national independence and prosperity on Martyrs' Day, which falls the day before National Day. Jiao Yunfei has more.
A solemn event marking China's Martyrs' Day. People from all walks of life gather at Tiananmen Square to pay tribute to those who gave their lives for the independence and prosperity of the nation. President Xi Jinping lays flowers at the monument to the people's heroes. Historical estimates put the number of Chinese martyrs killed since the First Opium War in 1840 at 20 million, many of them nameless. China has a long tradition of commemorating those who have served the country. In 2014, China's top legislature designated September 30th as the nation's Martyrs' Day. And in 2018, a law was passed making it illegal to defame heroes.
Reports say a suicide attack in the Afghan capital killed at least 19 people and injured dozens. Police say the attack in Kabul took place at an education center where an entrance exam was taking place. There's no immediate claim of responsibility for the attack. Many of those living in the western area of Kabul where the blast occurred are Hazara, an ethnic minority targeted in past attacks launched by the Islamic State, among other militant groups. The Purchasing Managers Index for China's manufacturing sector came in at 50.1 in September, up from 49.4 the month before. Data from the National Bureau of Statistics also says the non-manufacturing PMI stood at 50.6 in September, down from 52.6 in August. Ian has regained hurricane strength after inflicting significant damage in Florida. The U.S. National Hurricane Center says the storm is taking aim at South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia, with life-threatening flooding, storm surge, and winds. The hurricane killed at least 15 people in Florida and left nearly 2.5 million customers without power. Data from the U.S. Commerce Department shows that the country's economy shrank at an annual rate of 0.6% in the second quarter. Owen Fairclough has more.
A third division of gross domestic product figures confirms 2 successive quarters of negative growth that for some defines a recession. But in the midst of all this, jobless claims dropped by 16,000 to 193,000 last week.
The Fed is deliberately trying to raise unemployment slightly by making the cost of running a business, including hiring people, more expensive.
The Fed now appears to think a recession may be necessary to bring down stubbornly high inflation.
British Prime Minister Liz Truss has defended her government's fiscal statement that drew wide criticism and brought market volatility. She said the government took immediate action in order to avoid a projected economic slowdown. The Prime Minister said they're working closely with the Bank of England on the economic strategy. Britain's Royal Mints unveiled the first coins to feature the image of King Charles III. The 50-pence coins bearing the King's portrait will begin circulating in the coming months. There are 27 billion coins with the image of the late Queen Elizabeth II in circulation. China media groups released a TV special focusing on China's national development in different aspects since 2012. Decoding the past 10 years explains how China's changed over the past decade by telling typical stories and key stats. It'll be broadcast in 44 languages across different media platforms globally. China's financial authorities will relax the lower limit for loan interest rates for first-time home buyers in certain cities. By the end of this year, governments of those cities will be able to decide if they will retain, reduce, or remove the lower limits in phases. Banks and customers can negotiate to determine specific interest rates. The Indonesian Food and Drug Agency has approved a China-developed mRNA COVID-19 vaccine for emergency use for people aged 18 and above. The shot's the first authorized Chinese COVID-19 vaccine using the novel mRNA technology, which Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna also used in their shots. Researchers conducted the vaccine's phase 1 trial in Hangzhou in 2020. Organizers will require fans attending the Qatar World Cup to show a negative COVID-19 test upon arrival. Vaccination's not mandatory for the 1.2 million expected visitors for the football tournament, but they must wear masks on public transport, and those who test positive in Qatar will go into isolation in accordance with health guidelines. And that's the news. I'm Shane Bigham.